Da, da, da. People probably at work, chillaxing. It's not working right. What is going on? I changed my hair, y'all. This I'm a little different for a minute. I don't like looking or being the same way for too long. But I'm trying to figure out why my camera isn't working. Because I want y'all to be able to see me, see me, see me. You know what? I'm so smart sometimes until there we go. Why is my all right? I'm ready now. The camera was covered. Okay. All right. Y'all like my hair? Okay. I am catching up on Facebook. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to my meditation, by the way. Let me put this music off. Some people don't like music and ambiance when I'm on my lives. I like them. I love my afro. I'm going to do this for a while. And for anyone that is curious, no, I did not. I did not pluck out my locks. I did not pluck out my locks. I did not get rid of my locks. I just want to do something different. I think that just in general, especially with spring is coming, I always feel like doing something a little different. So this is a wig. If I could have the patience, if I could have the fortitude to wear my hair natural like this, like an afro, like I have locks underneath here, and it was a job just to get these locks underneath this wig. So Dev Marie, you were like, oh God, no. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. So I just wanted to start doing my afternoon check-ins and go live and talk to people because I am stepping out and expressing who I am more. And this is one of the ways to do it is by going live and not being so much concerned about who's watching, but who is listening. And when I say who is listening, a lot of times, even if people are not literally watching you live at the moment or whatever, your vibration and what you're sharing is being carried through the atmosphere. And I wanted to also thank people for giving me some wonderful remedies for my allergies. I'm feeling better. Past few days have been horrible, horrendous, hard. And ginger, like everyone, a lot of people told me to use oil of oregano. I use oil of oregano just in general. Um, so that was good. A lot of people told me honey, elderberry, great tips. So if anybody is dealing with allergies or they got like a little cold, go to my page on Facebook. It's Kenda Bell. I have no aliases. Go on that page and you'll probably, it was yesterday, scroll. A lot of people shared a lot of remedies and even people that sell things as well. They also gave their links and their products and stuff because it's allergy season. Spring is next week. Are you guys ready? I think I know in Maryland, where I'm at, winter was kind of mild. It wasn't that dang, I wish my picture I like my picture in the back, but I don't like the wall that is on. So it just is annoying me. I'm such a perfectionist to certain things. Where I see that I have one viewer. Where are you viewing me from? Can you comment? Let me know where you're watching me from before we get started. And also, too, guys, I did a bomb meditation. It's called Laughter Alchemy Meditation. And it was focused on the new moon in Pisces, which hit on Sunday. A lot of us that are into astrology know that new moons are a great time for, and most people, they say the new moon is a great time to set your intentions. Hey, baby, that's my daddy. And I know y'all are tired of hearing people hearing certain grown ass black women saying daddy, but every now and then I call my husband daddy because it just feels good. And I also call him baby. And he calls me baby cakes. And it's okay. There's nothing creepy about it. So thanks for watching, babe. Um, so for one, spring is coming. There's also Lent started. There's also Ramadan started yesterday. And I want us to, no matter what faith that you are in, um, know that a lot of the calendar, the religions that we follow, all follow the sun cycles and the moon cycles almost all the time. And it's no mistake that a lot of the major holidays, Passover, Easter, Ramadan, all follow each other. And the one universal message is about elevation, rebirth, and a new season. So these are the things that we can agree upon. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm going to probably scurry around on the internet because I wanted to talk about some tea. Now, there's a lot of different things that were going on. And what I'm going to share is that we're just having conversation. And when I say just having conversation, I mean that we're going to look at topics in the world and we're going to just have a conversation about it. No one's right, no one's wrong. and we're going to hopefully learn and teach one another. So if you've just joined, if you're at work, just put your headphones on and just listen. Peek at the screen every now and again and let me know where you're joining me from. And I guess I need to do my intro now because I did my little bantering. I got the camera together. It's just funny because I didn't understand, like, why isn't it playing? And the cover was on it. So anyway, here we go.
Yeah, ISO, that's it right there.
All right, we are back. I love my little intro. So I know a lot of us, we like to scare the internet. I know Instagram is a great place to find our news and things like that. So I just wanted to share a couple of stories. So because I know people love to talk. So I just saw where Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, has reportedly made a new filing in court. According to the U.S. Sun, Hunter is apparently attempting to cash in on his ex-wife's funds. Now y'all know Kevin Hunter. And he's seeking severance pay from Wendy Williams again. Now, this is not the first time that he's requested this money, right? So, according to the outlet, Hunter is demanding, and this is from the Shade Room. And shout out to Monica DeVoe, our partner at Ma'at Temple of Elevation, that was like, hey, get your content from online. So, if you guys, now this is an interesting subject. So, now, if the roles were reversed, wouldn't we want hey, check your inbox. I sent you a link. You want to join me? Throw on some makeup real quick and join me. I'm feeling like spontaneous. Thank you, Deltra, for joining me. So now, if Kevin was named Keisha and Wendy was named Wendell, most people wouldn't have an issue with it. But, now I will admit how he left the marriage was really nasty and stank. But I have my thoughts on how those things happen, right? But should he get some severance pay? Should he get some alimony? Should he get something? Because some people feel, and Wendy has said it herself, that he was very helpful and instrumental to her career, i.e., her manager, her protector. And his lifestyle, of course, has changed. He has not been able to work. He has a young child. I'm just saying. Anybody have any thoughts about that? Let me pull this article up really quick. I'm gonna pull this article up real quick. Okay, here we go. So it says here, we're gonna look at this. I personally, He shouldn't be getting no money. In my ego, my ego says bump that. So it says, according to the outlet, Hunter is demanding to receive 2 years of back divorce. Receive 2 years of back divorce, also known as severance payments from Williams. The 51-year-old, he's 51, y'all. He's full grown. Reportedly asserted that the payments were agreed upon in the pair's marital settlement agreement. To note, Hunter and Williams finalized their divorce in 2020. Now, however, Hunter alleges that he stopped receiving payments from Williams when her legal guardianship began in 2022. The Shade Room, y'all gotta get y'all spelling together. Do y'all feel bad for him? I know I don't. I would be out of my mind, crazy mad if somebody, my ex-husband, especially the one that knowingly cheated on me. But a lot of people are really speculating that they had an arrangement. And a lot of marriages have that, especially marriages of a certain income status. They have arrangements. And I believe, and me and Deltra were talking about this, like my sister, the other day, about they probably had an arrangement, and the thing was, don't get caught and don't make no babies. And he did both. And it's gotta burn. And it's gotta burn. You don't? Okay. It's gotta burn because it's gotta burn because I thought I had inboxed it to you. I sent it to the wrong person. I'm sorry, girl. But honestly, and that's probably where he's like coming from. See, the world sees him as a dog, which again, I do think the way, from what I know from the standpoint of how he handled things, was crazy. It didn't make no sense. But in his mind, in his crazy mind, he probably said, well, we discussed this, we talked about this, yeah, I messed up, but I worked hard. He should have figured that out. What's your thoughts? Also, too, what I'm trying to find is this article where Mike Epps talked about how he never treated any woman right, and he's praying to God to help him. And his wife allegedly, from reports, got offended and very bothered by what he said. And I think that we're in this age of everybody's trying to tell their truth. Everybody's trying to tell their truth. Their this was 3 days ago. Let me see. Here we go. So he put his foot in his mouth. Deltra, I just inboxed you. And anyone else that wants to join and share your commentary or your thoughts about different things that I'm pulling up, please share. I'm just kind of doing this free willy style, just jumping on here, trying to get comfortable talking to people again and being out and about. I know this is virtually, but one step at a time, right? And of course, I'm doing my new hair. So I had to show y'all my new hair. But anyway. So yeah, let me pull up this article. Because I would have a problem if, I don't know. I guess because, so just imagine this. You are you're accompanying your mate, and this could be husband or wife, right? And he's on a podcast being interviewed, and he's sharing that um that he is that he has not treated women properly for years. And I'm trying to find the actual thing. Hold on one second, guys. Hello. Hey, everything okay? Oh, oh, we're doing fine. I'm on a live. I was scared. I thought something happened. I'm gonna call you back. Okay. Hurry up. hmm Sorry about that, guys. I am not doing right. So anyway, where is the article? I know y'all tired of me. This is my first time doing it, so whatever. Where is this article? I am falling, but I'm gonna have it right when I come back here tomorrow. Okay. So, can you guys see my screen? Type a 1 if you can see my screen in the comment. Okay. Okay. So, let's look at this. So, this article says, and I scroll, damn it. So this is from the Neighborhood Talk. This is a couple of days ago, though, so I'm a little late. Mike Epps apologizes to his wife for comments he made on All the Smoke. Again, I wanna apologies to my beautiful wife for ignorant and reckless. Child, who works for the Neighborhood Talk, or did he write this? Hey, Deltra, am I reading this right? That's what Michael Epps apologizes to his wife for comments he made on All the Smoke. Again, I wanna apologies to my beautiful wife for ignorant and reckless. So he probably was typing that while she was knocking him upside his head and he couldn't spell straight. What do you think?
I think that we are losing. We need to fight to hold on to real journalism and real reporting and keep the standard, because this stuff is getting out of hand. Anybody with a phone is a reporter now.
I
Whether they can spell, use grammar correctly, it's terrible.
Yes, it really is. But so I'm trying to find the actual video where he said what he said because I heard it. And Mike Epps says before he dies, he wants to learn how to treat a woman 100% right. I've never treated a woman right. This is one of my dreams. And then
Mm.
he writes at the bottom of it, I want to apologize to my wife for what I said on this Dumb A podcast. This is a trick bag. I am always misunderstood on what I say on the internet. Shaking my head. Never again will I interview with anyone. Never. Thumbs down. I am off this ish for good. Freaked
But now
off.
he's throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because it's not that the podcasts are bad, it's whose podcast you're going on.
Mm,
Most of the time, these people don't research who they're going to be interviewed by. That's what I feel the problem that people have with Monique's husband is that he does research and
Yeah.
questions that most people don't ask. They just, oh, I'm so happy to be on your show. Thank you, master. You know, it's like that whole,
Mm-hmm.
you know, mentality of just being so thankful for somebody to recognize you. But you got to be sure that that's the kind of recognition you want, because clearly he did not want that. But he didn't vet. His people didn't vet. They just put him on the podcast. Yo, man, you got to get out there. No.
Listen. Yeah, right. I'm trying to find the clip because when I heard what he said, it didn't sound bad, but I heard it in a snippet. I'm trying to find it now. I did not prepare properly. Oh, okay.
Well, this is a spontaneous thing. So
Yeah, this is just spontaneous. You know, I put on my Afro wig, so I just felt like doing something.
I love this wig, sis. I'm loving it. See, today I don't have wig energy. I have my eyes are swollen. I woke up looking like I was in a fight. I must have been doing some hardcore dreaming last night.
Well, like I opened up the call. The new moon in Pisces is the Pisces sign is a very dreamy energy. It's Neptune, it's dreams, it's aspirations. It's going into the depths of you, but expansively, like you're floating around. So you probably did, because you know spring starts in 7 days. Exactly 7 days. Spring starts on March the 19th. Traditionally, we see spring as March the 21st, but it depends. It moves around. Okay. And what we have to remember is a lot of different things are going on. I'm still looking for the video clip. About wife. And okay, here we go. All right. So this is what he said. And I want people to give me an honest opinion about that. Like I said, I heard a snippet, but I didn't hear the full context. See, context is very important. We live in a soundbite world. We live in a soundbite world where we'll hear a snippet of something and just indict a person and pass judgment without hearing the full dynamic. So let me now share this, because I finally found it, because I wanted to find it. So this is what he said. Now you tell me. I don't know if you already saw it or not, but you tell me. Can you see my screen?
My kids.
Yeah, I see.
I had a son the day my mother died. My mother died 2020, COVID. My son was born the same time, bro. And I never had a son. He looked just like my mama, man. I swear, that's how I know God's real.
And death comes life. Yeah,
gave me a son. My mama
dope.
Gave me a son walking out the door, man.
That's beautiful.
I used to cry all the time and ask God, what did I do wrong that I can't have a son? But I know what it was. I lied to all these women and got them pregnant and sold them dreams and shit like that.
I got 5 girls.
You got 5 girls too.
To let you know I was lying.
I've been lying too.
I've been doing too much
lying. That's one thing that I'm gonna get right before I leave this earth. I'm gonna learn how to treat a woman 100% right.
Dope. That's dope.
Cause that's something that I want to do for my mother, for my children, for my daughters. I never treated a woman right 100%. And now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing, man, you gotta treat a woman right, Mike. You can't cheat on her. You gotta be her friend. You gotta not be selfish. This is what I want to do. This is one of my dreams, man.
That's dope. That's something we have to learn as men. That's something we really have to learn as men.
I had issues with my mother. So
Mm.
now I want to make a woman. I don't want my kids' mother to, you know what I mean, to have my mother's stuff. So
Mm.
that's one of my things I want to do, man.
So what's wrong with that? Did I miss something? Did I miss
I,
something?
I didn't hear anything he said wrong. He just said he sounded like he just said he needed to do better. He learned from his mistakes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the wife felt embarrassed that he alluded to that maybe, she felt embarrassed, insulted that he shared. Thank you, Sherelle. Hey, Sherelle. She felt insulted that he said that he's never treated any woman right. 100% that he's cheated, he's lied, etc., etc., etc. And she, you know, I don't see what the problem is, unless maybe she felt like, well, Negro, you should be saying that to me first before you tell it to the world. I don't know. Did I
Right.
miss something?
No, I didn't see anything wrong unless they cut out something.
Yeah, because again, Mike Epps is not one of those people that I watch like that. So I don't know what he said, but I know in the past he has said some really derogatory things about his first wife, saying that his first children were ugly or something. He said something like this was some years ago or whatever. So I don't know, but let's look at the apology. I'm finding the apology now because I don't I don't see what the problem is. Apologizes to wife. I mean, okay, here we go. No, this is not an actual video apology. But but when we are in relationships with men, right? Especially when a man has gotten older, if
Mm-hmm.
if you date older men or a men of a certain age, I know some women they don't date anything under 40. I mean over 40 or whatever. But if a man and a woman have lived long enough, they sometimes they have sobering moments where they recognize and they want to own that. See, my nose, I was feeling good. Now my nose is, oh God, I'm gonna have to cut this short because I'm not gonna be on here
No.
wiping my nose. I can't do it. So anyway,
It's
but
coming out. It's draining out.
I know that's a good thing, right? But
Yeah.
don't you want a man that wants to take accountability for his missteps in his past, especially the missteps that he may have had in the current relationship that he's having with you? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a sign of maturity. Um, and I'm not sure what the context of the podcast was, but it sounds like I think he was calling himself dropping some knowledge to the younger men because he is older.
Yeah, he's 50. He'll be 53 this year. I mean, he'll be 54 this year. So, you know, yeah. And he kept saying like he had all girls. And he was like, why didn't he have a son? And he said, I mean, to me, and these are things that I've heard men say many times, that they have daughters to help them to learn. And
Right,
he was very honest about saying he had a problem or challenges with his relationship with his mother.
right.
So, I mean, I think he was keeping it real. Now, I guess, again, like I said, I don't know what the context was. She might have told him, don't you say nothing about our marriage, our relationship. We don't know what that agreement was about him before he went on that podcast. but and probably him coming clean about possibly not being faithful or loyal or treating her right and sharing it with the public maybe didn't feel good to her. That's the only thing I could think of.
And another thing I wanted to say, going back to Wendy, because I wasn't on here. I
Oh yeah.
wasn't on live with you when you talked about Wendy, but I was listening. And I just feel like we have to remember that this is the let me see how I can say it. It's the most open closed place in the world in the
Mm,
universe is social media. So people are open but they're closed. So what they open to us could be 2% of what's really happening behind the 90%, the 98% closed doors. And I
mm-hmm.
think we run with that 2% they give us and believe that that's the totality, and it's just a teeny tiny bit of what's really happening behind the scenes.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? Like I don't show all of my life on social media. You know what I want you to know. You know the part of me that I'm okay with sharing. That could be 1% of my life. And so we have to be careful when we're digesting this stuff to understand this is a very small viewpoint in a little insight, not much, into these people's lives. But most of these people have so much going on behind the scenes you can't imagine. And what are in stuff, that's why when stuff starts getting like uncovered, people sitting with their mouth open because you've created this. Of course, that's what they wanted you to do. You created this image, this facade has been created for you to believe that this is all like this. And then when you hear the truth, you're like, huh? They was doing what? No way.
But
Because like what happened with Bill Cosby. We all thought we knew Bill Cosby because we watched him on TV.
why do we think that? But this is something that really scares me in terms of like fame. Like,
Hmm.
what makes the public think that they have ownership to know every nuance of your life?
I think it's the way it was presented. Like I said, they it's presented to you like I'm sharing part of me with you. So, when people, and then this goes deep, this goes into people's money. When people start spending money with you, they feel ownership. I don't care who you are, I don't care how big you are.
Mm,
I have customers that in the past have felt like they could call me whenever and do
mhm,
whatever because they paid me. And so
mhm.
it's about setting boundaries from the beginning. You don't get to know this much. And so that's the danger of social media. And now these social media reporters digging into people's stuff.
Yes, because they be serious. So,
Yeah.
okay, I have a guilty pleasure. I love watching YouTube. When Facebook went down last week, I was kind of
Mhm.
like, okay,
Okay.
I'll just hang out on YouTube. The only thing I was concerned about was if I had been hacked and I would lose my photographs and different things like that. And I'll share another download that I got in regards to the internet. But I
Mhm.
go onto YouTube and I go down a rabbit hole. TikTok really takes me down a tunnel, but no, yeah. YouTube is the tunnel. TikTok is the rabbit hole. And I love to watch these correspondents or pundits or vloggers. I don't know what they call themselves, but they are deep divers. Like with the P. Diddy situation, I follow several content creators that have the paperwork, the court papers, and they're going line for line, delineating certain facts, calling people, and really, but that's the way press began, though. So they're really not doing anything wrong because when we talk about what free press really is, free press began the way YouTube and TikTok is currently have being in that the quote unquote average man, the regular Joe, would write articles and publish them and share the news in newspapers. There was not until I think maybe the 20s or the 30s where there were actual courses in journalism in colleges.
Mm.
We have to keep in mind that the quote unquote modern world is very young.
Mm.
The modern world is very young and ever evolving. So a lot of things that we think is standard or is the way things should be, maybe only 60 years at best old. Television came out in the 50s.
Right. This is new. Yeah.
So when we talk about television, television is only 70 years old. When we talk about radios maybe is 100 years old. I have to look at the stats. So when we start talking about the internet is like a toddler running around tearing up stuff. The internet is really, no, maybe not. Yeah, maybe it's a,
I think it's a preteen, right? Or like,
it's a preteen, because the internet, the World Wide Web, is creating its own identity and is taking information that it is learning and becoming itself and growing. And when we look at these gossip columnists and these different blogs like the Neighborhood Talk, the Shade Room, Jasmine Brand, these are nothing but urban national inquirers now. Y'all remember?
mm-hmm.
Y'all remember the National Enquirer? And what's very interesting is, as we're looking at a lot of information and different things that are coming up in the world, I remember seeing those articles and those things in the supermarket. You remember seeing the Globe and the National Enquirer, where they was talking about these crazy stories about people missing, or this starlet was doing this and this star was doing that. And surprisingly enough, 50, 60 years later, we're seeing that some of this stuff is true.
That is so true.
And it's like the internet is the Tower of Babel, and I think I shared that with you several times. Yes. And I want us to think about the internet, the World Wide Web, social media is an extension of ourselves, period, point blank. Mm-hmm. If you post something, if you share something, whether it's picture, you write a couple of words, you are adding your brick to the Tower of Babel. You are literally, when we think about the story in the Bible where they said that humans tried to build this thing to reach God, God got mad and knocked it down. I'm not going to debate on whether that's true or not, but I want people to focus on the symbolism of it. Is that we're building AI. AI is nothing more than the hive mind. AI generated content makes it quicker to access the universal mind. That's all it is. It's a great way to suck up the information that we already have. And it's the lazy way, but it's the next wave. People thought that going and writing things down from a library book was being lazy. Do you remember doing a report where you would have to go to the library, get the book, and you would write down the things out of the book, and your teacher would get mad at you because they could tell you got it straight out of the encyclopedia?
Right. Well, if you wasn't fortunate enough to have the encyclopedias in your house, you had to go to the library and hope somebody didn't have the same letters that you had. Mm-hmm. Remember that part?
Yeah.
Because then if you were looking for CD, whatever, CDE or whatever, And if I had it, you had to wait for me to finish. And if I took it out the library, well, I don't know if they let you take the encyclopedias out back in the day.
No,
But I remember complaining so much. My parents got the encyclopedia volumes in our house because they knew I was gonna always need to be, researching something. But they weren't cheap. They were very expensive. Stuff we
I
take for granted right now was
I don't.
expensive.
Yeah, I don't even know how much a set costs, but I finally got a set of encyclopedias, and I remember that there used to be literally a man that would sell
Mhm.
encyclopedias. He would knock on doors and sell encyclopedias, and I wanted one, and my parents ended up getting the older edition, like a year or two,
Mhm.
but now children can just log on the internet and just look up anything.
From their phone. Because remember, this progressed. When we first got the internet, it was dial up. You had to hook it up to the phone
Oh
line,
my gosh.
wait for it to dial up, upload and dial up, and then you had to, access from a computer if you had a computer in your house
And it
because
had to be
everybody didn't.
hardwired. There's
Yep.
children, there's adults that don't even recall that or
Nope.
remember that.
Nope.
Their existence is high speed internet immediately, like boom.
And these are the things, though, these are the types of conversations that should be happening because it will help us bridge the gap of understanding each other and helping those of us in our 50s who had to do a lot of things manually and use our brains a lot more to,
Mhm.
problem solve. It will help us understand this new instant, everything is instant. And it's not bad, but as we can see, sometimes research is needed because you miss the details. I'm going to be thorough. I want to know, I want to look, I want to research, I want to dig. I don't need it to happen yesterday.
I wish I had the internet when I was younger because I would probably have dynamic papers. I remember having
Oh
to
my God.
go to the library, and then if somebody had the book that you needed, you had to wait until they finished. The Dewey Decimal System. Do I don't even think
Girl.
that is it even like books. Like I still like to hold a book in my hand, but now it's more audiobooks. Like, but I'm leaning towards audiobooks more so now than I have in the past. And I wonder if it's a good thing or a bad thing that we're so electronically geared, but our body is electric.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like really not a bad thing, but it's more about what we're reading and what we are ingesting into our energy field. So it makes sense that a lot of things that we do now are electronically based because our body is electric. A lot of our things are run on electricity.
I
And
love it. I love it though. Just to preface what you're saying, I love the access to everything at your fingertips. You know me. I'm really into this stuff. I'm embracing AI. I'm using it.
I love
Um,
it.
I integrated it into what I do, but I don't rely on it. I think it's just another tool for us to use, but we can't be afraid of it. Like I watched my mother, being afraid of the computers because she was so used to using a typewriter. She didn't want to use a computer. She was mad about it. So I think the first thing is always understanding you have to stay flexible because the world changes like second by second.
Mhm.
Something new is happening at this very moment, and you have to be ready to adjust. So every now and then they'll shut down these apps because they're working on their business. This is not our business. That's why I keep
Mhm.
telling people this is not your website.
True.
Facebook is a website platform just like anybody else's. It's just that it's really, really big. But if they have to shut down for maintenance, that's what they have to do. It's just that when we have our websites, if I shut mine down, I might inconvenience people for it. Like not that many people won't be inconvenienced for my website because you going on my website to purchase things that want, you're not
Mhm.
going on there to talk to people all day. So I think that we have to remember that.
Yeah. And what came to me is that a lot of us, we're going to have to start getting back to, even though I love the modernization of a lot of things, I love the fact that I can type up my thoughts. I love the idea that I can, share. But we're going to have to get back to getting our journals again and keeping a journal and writing our stories in our own words, because like we're seeing ancestry.com, African ancestry.com, people are logging into census bureaus and records to find their great 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 grandparents.
Mhm.
On my father's side, one of the elders was able to trace my father's ancestor back to 1790 in America, which is beautiful and powerful and fascinating, right? But just imagine in 2224, your great 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 grandchild
Mhm.
wants to know what you were like when you were 30 years old.
This is good.
So, y'all don't think that Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, X, and possibly even MySpace, who knows, they might resurrect that back up, will be one of the databases? You don't think that
Right.
that your great 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 grandbaby wants to see a picture of you, and they might see you tagged with your butt out. I tried to do it, but the filter wouldn't let me. You know, you at the white party looking drunk or passed out. Do you want your great 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 grandchildren to see that image of you? And this is not judgment, but this is just the reality of things. Like that's
Right.
one aspect of you. But Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, they can decide what pictures they let become available. Just
Yes.
think about that. Just think about that. So one of the things that we should be learning and being grateful for is that we have these places that we can look up our ancestors. But we also need to keep in mind of what we're leaving for the ones that come after us. Do we want them to have our true story? Because I was just thinking about just life in general, like what are they going to talk about? How are they going to reference these times? Because there's a lot of times when we can look at history from back in the day when people used to do things like the girdles. When they first made girdles, they were extremely tight and they were made out of whale bones and they were very painful, but that was what women wore. Women wore what they call the bustles in the back of their dresses to make their butts look big. How are they going to frame and discuss BBLs? How are they going to talk about nose
Mhm.
jobs? I mean, seriously, we need to.
Mhm.
So you need to write, every person that's listening to this, if you're peeking in at this moment, this message is for you. No matter how great or small of an impact you think you have or that you're giving to this world or to the ones that come after you, you are, because they're going to want to know where they come from. Everyone at some point in their life wants to understand where they come from. Make sure,
Yes.
make sure if you can publish a book. You can publish a book. Amazon makes
I
it
love
so
it.
easy to publish your own book.
I love
Even if
it.
even if you just want to write a book and just have it, even if you don't want to sell it, leave that as an heirloom for your children and your
I'm
children's
telling you.
children's children.
I'm telling
So
you.
so that they can know who you were in your words from your point of view. This is something that keeps coming to me. I have lots of notebooks and journals. I have books that I have published, but I'm going to make sure that when they look me up, they can look at all the crazy pictures, all the interesting posts, the funny posts, but they're going to have something in my handwriting or in my words that lets them know who I was. Because we're still allowing society, social media to define us. We're still doing it if we don't think ahead like this. Because I'm sure there will because you see it every day where people find letters and journals from people talking about their life to you, and we're left to interpret it. Mm-mm, not on my watch, not for me.
Okay. Okay.
You are not going to be interpreting what my afro wig really meant. You know, I don't want someone to say that I was able to transform my locks into an afro overnight. That's not what happened. I mean, it's just, just think about the way that we try to rationalize and understand things that have happened before us in our modern eyes without any real context.
I talk about this all the time that, I'm a history buff. And I
Me
remember
too.
when I was in school, I didn't like history in school. I thought it
Mm,
was boring because they only gave us a very small, minute, information. But I was
mhm,
always interested in the Native American Indians. And
mm,
the way that they portrayed them in the books in school were very different from my studies of going to like museums and going to the
mhm,
library and really looking at
mhm,
how these people lived versus what I was told
mhm,
in books. So it's the same thing with Africa. It's the same thing with a lot of places that we did not live, places we didn't live in, but we were taught about because it was quote unquote history. But
mhm.
now knowing what I know and we have access to so much, that's what I'm excited about with social media and being able to access the World Wide Web, right? The internet,
Mhm,
to be able to really tap into. I mean, I've been able to talk into my tomorrow, or sometimes
mhm,
you meet people in a country, it's yesterday. Sometimes you meet them and it's tomorrow or 2 days ahead. That those
mhm.
things are fascinating to me. So I think that's what I'm excited about, being able to be alive in this time to actually experience that. But I'm very interested in the past. I'm doing some research now on the 1900s and even
Mhm,
1800s. Like even when I live somewhere, so I remember I used to live in a place called Ricerstown, Maryland, and
mhm,
people know Ricerstown Road, but that's different from the town. And I did
mhm,
research because Ricerstown is a historical
mhm.
place, and they
Yes.
have all of that man's history in the library that they built next to his gravesite. So
Mm,
all of the names of the streets and the names and stuff in some of these places in Maryland, these people are buried in that graveyard next to this library in Ricerstown. The Owings family from Owings Mills, uh, the Mr. Reister, his family, and some other
mhm,
people that we would recognize if we saw, like, oh my God, I know that person. They're
mhm.
buried right up the street. If you live in Owings Mills, they're up the street from you. And the
And
history is vast because the way that he even found Ricerstown was he was on his way to Annapolis and he found a patch of land and said, you know what, I like this land, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna build a town on this land. And
who did
that's
he
what he
buy
did.
it from?
I can't. I don't. Now see,
No,
I
I'm
think
I'm being sarcastic because that's a whole nother part of us
absolutely.
documenting our history and understanding from
Yeah.
our making sure that we have our own documentation, our own stories, and our own words. Because I,
Girl.
maybe he did pay someone that owned the land, but how did they get the land? Do you know what the name of your street means?
So
Things like that.
I think the Owens family was trying to get that, and I believe him and the Owens family were, the Mr. Owens Mills
Mm-hmm.
owner, which were trying to get the land from each other. Like they were competing for this land that we live on now. And yeah, for us, everything is beautiful, built up. But in Rice's town, those houses that he had built are still there.
Mm-hmm.
They're still standing. They still, everything is pretty much, except for the modernization of it, it's still the same. And I just find that fascinating. So when I move somewhere, I always look at the history. What's the land
Mm-hmm.
on top of? We all know all of the land we live on is built on top of dead people. There's no way to get around that. But who are the dead people? Are they Indians? Are they slaves? Who are they?
More than
What's the
likely, they are a
migration?
combination of both. And that's
Yeah.
why we, as melanated people, like what I was going to say, because you brought this to my memory, is that, like, especially like what I love about the time now is that
Mhm.
our melanated children are learning that we all didn't come from slavery.
Yes.
My first introduction to the idea of where I came from, my mother said, well, I'm from Georgia. She never really embraced the African aspect of things. And I used to be very like, dang, why did she do that? But it was a wisdom behind it. I remember being a young child and seeing Roots for the first time and how traumatizing and scary and crazy that concept was. But then
Mhm.
as I became an adult, of this story that I was told was the history of Alex Haley's family line, it was a fictitious story.
Mm.
And I'm like, what? It was made up. And then I get into college and I felt like a fool when I was told that there were free Black people during slavery. And I'm like, what? So
Mhm.
when we think about, and this is not going, I'm not going to get off into race, whatever. I'm getting ready to get off of here. But that's why in this modern time, since we're having fun using the internet to entertain, to research,
Mhm.
we also have to make sure that we are documenting our stories for our families. Even if you make your own, if you don't feel like writing a journal or writing it down, make a video explaining about this time, because I can only imagine what on how they're going to talk about this time. And what I want to tell you guys before we close out is that scandals like this that we're seeing with famous and rich people is not anything new. And I might come back on here maybe Thursday. I don't know if I'll come back tomorrow, but maybe Thursday.
Mhm.
Um, like the show that I've been telling you about that you're watching, The Gilded Age. During that
Mhm.
particular time, the Gilded Age time period, there were wealthy people that were on trial for murder, scandalous things.
Mhm.
But at the time, it was a big story. And then as time passed, no one remembered it.
Listen, scandals last for a good day, right?
So, so all of these things that we're looking at is like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is insane. It's nothing new under the sun.
No, and
Is just revealing itself in this because it's the time to be revealed. And when we talk about these famous people that are caught up in scandals, Mr. Love and other people connected to Brother Love, Brother Love.
Yeah, Brother Love. Mm-hmm.
We have to, as we are demonizing him and questioning him, and I'm not trying to advocate for his innocence or anything like that, but we have to understand that there were people that enabled him, and not just the people around him, but the people, quote unquote, over him. Do you think that he just started doing these things? Do you think that this was something that just started in the 90s? Let's talk about the 60s and Motown, Philadelphia sound. I mean, Berry Gordy, they some people claim he was down with the Detroit mob. I'm just saying.
I heard a lot of stuff about him.
A lot of things. This is not to say that our elders did anything wrong, but this is a poison, a behavior that's been passed down from generation to generation and is shepherded by other people. So while we're tearing him down, we need to figure out who gave him the contacts to the police department, who made sure that his fixers could fix it. Just because someone has a fixer means that the fixer has to have access to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, just the name itself.
Scandal.
Like,
y'all better rewatch Scandal. I keep saying I'm going to start rewatching it, but a lot of people, I love watching television shows. I love watching films. I love watching different shows because they always say that art imitates life. And about 10 years ago, there was a really great show called Scandal that came on. And it was all surrounding this woman that would fix scandals.
Not 10 years ago. I'm done. It's been 10 years.
Let me look it up. It has
because
to be.
I know House of Cards is another one that was good too. That was showing what was going on in the White House.
It aired on ABC. It began April 5th, 2012. Girl, so they already showed us.
No, don't let me wait.
12.
12
years. Yes.
12 years.
So 12 years ago, they put a show out to show us how the government works and how celebrity works. If you watch Scandal, none of this stuff that we're seeing should shock you or surprise you. Once you understand.
That is
you saying. They covered up all types of scandalous things, literally. And not just government. They had other famous people in there in the storyline. Voting issues, enemies actually being friends, working together from different parties, people within the same party, fighting each other, setting each other up, and worse.
Now, I'm going to say this. I started watching Suits, right? Because I kept hearing
I can't get into Suits. I don't know why.
Suits. And I was like, but it's I'm trying to tell you, girl.
All right, I might try it.
It's a good show for a lot of reasons, but and we'll talk about that off of here. But I was like, this is a pretty good show. It was so long ago, I didn't remember it. But now that you're talking about, and it's funny because I was telling somebody how we used to watch Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder and tweet it on Twitter.
That's another one.
We used to get on Twitter and tweet about these shows back when that was big, right? And we were like reporting to the Twitter crowd, like, oh, if you see, we was the original TV reviews. We just didn't even know that was going to turn into a thing because baby,
don't even take me back. I was ahead of the curve. I had the Street King, Jackie Jasper. I had all Kissy, Denise, who is blowing up the Facebook streets now with her coaching. I had all of them people. I knew
Listen,
Miss Hollywood.
what was the show with Taraji? Oh God, I can't think of it. My mind.
Oh,
Trying
I see her.
talent show.
I see her walk Empire. Yes.
So every time Empire came on, I would tweet. Empire retweeted me, shouted me out. I thought I was somebody, okay?
Being Mary Jane retweeted me. I used to
I
be in,
remember that. Oh my God.
and Tyler Perry's people retweeted me for the haves and the have-nots.
We
So
was in it. See, we missed our calling. We missed
so
it.
so when you guys watch these television shows, don't just watch them for entertainment. Really, really look at the message that the person is trying to convey, number one. And number two, how do you process it? Don't necessarily process it as truth, but process it as information.
Yes.
Everything is information. When we like the Power universe, I love Power. I love all the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people say, oh, Power, they talk about killing and drugs. And I keep saying the K word. I keep forgetting I can't say those words. Drugs and mayhem and all this stuff. And I said, yes, but it's also showing you interpersonal dynamics of people in certain hostile settings.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a sociology experiment with characters. I look at shows as a cultural sociologist. I am a cultural sociologist.
Okay, sis. I want to see that on your bio because I'm liking the way that sound because you definitely are.
Thank you.
I'm like you in that I'm about the why. So, they have the shows, the SVU shows. I watch the
I can't watch
criminal
them. I would
the
never sleep.
criminal intent one though.
I
See,
don't like them too
there's
much.
the one for criminal intent. The criminal intent show is about why the person committed the crime. Not so
Okay.
much how the crime was committed, but what made them do it. And I'm a mystery freak. So mysteries are all about that. Going back to find out why somebody did what they did and taking you through the steps of how it happened. How did we get from shaking my hand to me laying on the ground gone, right? So what happened? That's the kind of stuff. That's why How to Get Away with Murder had me captivated because I like the whole story and the behind the scenes of what happened. But yet the other ones I don't like. I just like the criminal intent one. But I'm with you on that. I want to know what's going on. But I think I'm more of a mystery buff. And I've always been like this since I was young. I've been reading mystery books. I don't know. I just like solving problems. I don't know what that is, but it gets me going.
That's the Virgo in you.
It gets me through the day, okay? It gets me through the day. I say put something good on, it's going to be a mystery.
Well, I have been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. So this was fun just to get my feet wet. I will be more structured and organized the next time I come on here. I appreciate you for joining me, and my nose is starting to run away, and I'm tired of sniffling and trying to close my camera to dab my nose. This is just so distracting. So
yes,
for anyone that is watching, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to be doing this more often. And this is my hair probably for, I don't know. I might keep this for Simbi. My husband doesn't really like my afros too much, but it is what it is.
Listen.
I'm going to do it.
Different part. It's a different, what's the lady say? Riri, the lady that gets on with her husband and talks about how her husband wants her to dress up in characters and stuff. Listen, whatever it takes.
I'm a
Hot
Gemini.
girl Riri.
So,
You don't know that little couple, the cute little couple. She be like, my man. She have the gray hair.
oh, I
They
think I
are
heard. Okay, I heard
so
about them.
cute. Yes,
Yeah.
she would encourage you to keep that. And her husband would encourage your husband to embrace the other side of you, to give you a name. Come on
Oh,
now.
I got a name.
Kitty cat, something.
Her name is Kiki.
Oh, see, I was in the neighborhood. I had the K right.
But this afro is like K Kitty Boom or K Boom, or I
You
gotta
give me
figure out what I'm
70.
gonna do.
You're definitely giving me 70 vibes right now.
Yes.
70 vibes. You
Yes.
are definitely.
When I put this on the other day, he said my hair is giving him 80s. He hears 80s and 70s music. I said, whatever.
That's all you need is a jumpsuit, bell bottoms.
What you gonna do for me when the chips are down? Yeah. What you gonna do for me?
God.
What you gonna do for me?
Hey.
What? Okay, all right, that's it, y'all. I appreciate you for joining me. This was fun. I'm not nervous no more to do it. My nose is running, and that singing just loosed up something. So thank you so much, Deltra. I love you, girl.
Thank you.
And if you guys aren't following me, follow me because it only gets better. And if you want a meditation that's going to put you in a beautiful space to welcome in all the wonderful blessings that spring has to offer, go to my YouTube page. It is Joy Factor Mama Kenda. Go on YouTube, put in my name, either Kenda Bell, Joy Factor Mama Kenda, and my YouTube page will come up, and you will see my laughter alchemy meditation, and it's awesome. I have to say myself. I listened to it the other day, and that's why I got my gumption up to go ahead and do this today. And listen to it more than once. It's 44 minutes and 55 seconds, but you need it.
You need it, and I'm going to go on live with Kenda, and I'm going to share what happened to me. I don't mind sharing because
Thank
it
you.
has changed me. In the last 24 hours, things have turned from one way, because I don't want to say they were bad, because they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
But they turned from the way I didn't think they should be to the way more than what I wanted them to be. So I'm
about to call you, girl.
Yes, girl. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We out, y'all.
Bye. I don't know how to do this. Oh, please.
Yeah, ISO, that's it right there.